Right, welcome to another episode of Finding Chicago. It's been a few weeks and you find me here in Millennium Park, and as you can see, I'm not alone. I'm here with an Aussie. This is the Chicago Aussie, Jack.
Hi, I'm Jack. Yeah, as he said, the Chicago Aussie from YouTube, and that's how we met. So this is going to be our first collaboration video.
And we're looking forward to it. So follow us as we walk around Millennium Park.
Jack and I started out by taking a stroll through the Lurie Garden, a place we agreed to revisit again once the flowers stopped looking like this and more like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? It's nice.
Yeah. Now, Millennium Park, where do you think this ranks in the list of Chicago parks?
That's a big one, I guess. There's a lot of Chicago parks which are very interesting. Lincoln Park, as you know it well, I know you do, I've seen your video on it, is definitely up there, top 3. Grant Park, I think, would be below Millennium Park, and Millennium Park would probably in the second position. I'm going to go Lincoln Park first.
Brilliant. I'm a Lincoln man.
Good.
As well.
Yeah. It took me a while to get to that conclusion, I think. But yeah, it's Lincoln Park definitely first, Millennium Park second, and I guess Grant Park just because of its grandeur. It's kind of like the.
I should point out actually that Jack is fast becoming quite an expert on Chicago, and I mean on statistics and facts and things like that. Definitely shows me up.
Well, I hear that from a lot of Chicagoans. I've never heard that from a British person, but I feel like I know certain information about very small little things around Chicago, but I'm yet to sort of tie the whole thing in, and I guess that sort of comes with living here longer.
Sure.
And learning a bit more about Chicago in general, because I still find myself walking south a couple of blocks in the wrong direction before I even realized that I was meant to be walking north.
Though not as crowded in late March, Millennium Park is, as Jack said, Chicago's second most popular tourist attraction. Indeed, shortly after moving to the Windy City last July, the wife and I joined thousands of others for an outdoor showing of Grease at the J. Pritzker Pavilion. Something I was quick to tell Jack, only to wonder if such an admission would utterly ruin my street cred with the Chicago Aussie. Anyway, owing perhaps to the quaffing of alcohol, the communal singing that day was rather shit. But the experience was nonetheless one that said, "Welcome to Chicago."
Guess what? I'm back at the Bean. I just couldn't get enough the first time. Brit, obsessed with beans and toast. Yeah, I was just saying actually to Jack that I find that the Bean, I never mentioned in the last video, is a really good focal point for Millennium Park. I think it brings in all the children, it centres them around it, and like ants in a way. That's not my true feeling of children. And then around you've got the pavilion and you've got the fountain, and the children just sort of move on in herds like ants.
And like the other works, like Crown Fountain, which they have here, it's interactive. The warped sort of mirror, and it's this whole carnival sort of experience that you can have with it. You can go up and touch it.
We didn't quite get to do that on this occasion, as Crown Fountain was under construction. In fact, it was difficult to determine if these interactive screens, which in the summertime look like this, are more terrifying while spitting out H2O, or when they're shut for maintenance.
Millennium Park is probably the second biggest tourist spot that you can go up to, first being Navy Pier.
Yes.
And I guess if we want to talk a little bit about how it came about, Millennium Park was meant to be opened for the Millennium.
Right.
But they were late by 4 years.
They were delayed.
Yeah.
And I find it rather sad that was the case, because if the Bean was a little bit older, it would be a has-been. But I've already done that joke.
Yeah, you're just recycling old content, I see.
You have to occasionally. And so that concludes our tour of Millennium Park. I do promise that it gets a lot warmer than this in the summer and later spring, and that's of course the actual time to come, but we thought we'd just head down here while there's no one around. Easier. So
preempt the crowds, We look forward to coming down here in the summer. We probably will be here.
Yeah.
Right now it's just kind of a bit closed off and a bit under repairs, but it's going to be grand for the summer.
It is. And so thank you to Jack for joining me today, and do remember to go check out Jack's YouTube channel. It's the Chicago Aussie. And in fact, if you wait until the very end of this video, you'll be able to click on his version of the video in the end slides.